trackside cart. You're looking at the beautiful Pacific coastline here in Monterey, California. Now it's time for our owner profile, and Chris McClure sat down with Tasman owner Steve Horne.
With a racing career that spans 2 decades, from a mechanic to manager to team owner, Steve Horne and his Tasman Motorsports Group have developed into a major force in both Indy Lights and CART.
I did a very small amount of driving. I wasn't very good at it, but I really enjoyed building engines. Engines were the thing that really got me going. So when I was at high school, I was building Formula Ford engines, that kind of thing, and going to school and going to the races at the weekend.
And he found his niche building and working on race cars.
When I left New Zealand in '74, I went to England and worked on a Formula 5000 team, which was really a pretty good series back then in Europe. And so I started as a number 2 mechanic, learned my way around the cars. But as the team grew and it came to America in '76, I was one of the few mechanics that came with the team. So I kind of grew up through the team, and I guess towards the end, I was the longest employee there, and I ended up as a team manager.
That was with VDS Racing. In 1982, Horne joined forces with Jim Truman, giving birth to the True Sports Indy team. With the move from Formula 5000, there were some notable differences.
What was different about CART was learning to race on ovals. That was a huge challenge. I think building a team from scratch was a pretty good challenge, but really with the support of Jim Truman and having Bobby as a driver, that made a lot of things a lot easier than what I thought they'd be.
With the True Sports team came a valuable relationship with Bobby Rahal.
Bobby had run Can-Am, and I'd seen him drive. I knew he was damn fast, but until I worked with him, I didn't realize his ability. Certainly on the technical side, he was very good on chassis setup. He was also excellent out of the car with the sponsors, but Bobby's racecraft was the thing that stuck in my mind.
So what was the most memorable time with Bobby?
I think the highlight for me was winning our second CART championship in '87, because we'd had a tough year in '86 with, although we'd won the championship, we'd lost Jim Truman. There were a lot of changes that went on in the team, but we came back in '87, and I think really just dominated that year and had a tremendous year.
Then, in 1992, Steve decided it was time to take full control, and Tasman Motorsports was born. Starting in lights, then CART, now both.
Well, I'd had a successful career at True Sports. I think I had a reasonable understanding of what it took to run at the front, and I just felt I had some unfinished business. I wanted to do it again with some of the other people that I'd worked with at True Sports, and you know, racing's my life. I didn't want to give up. I felt that the next step was to have my own team.
As an owner, Horne is perfectly prepared to deal with the team top to bottom. He's been there.
The hardest thing for me to do when we started the team was to take my toolbox home, because I realized that I couldn't work on the cars and do my job running the team at the same time. So I can relate to a lot of the things they go through as mechanics. I think I can certainly relate a lot to the drivers, because perhaps my career has brought me a little closer to drivers than some other team owners.
A feeling echoed by many, including Tony Kanaan.
It's not kind of a relationship between driver and team owner. It's more than that. Year by year, we just got closer and closer, and right now, he's my friend.
Having developed drivers like Brian Herta, Andre Ribeiro, Adrian Fernandez, and Kanaan, Horne is noted for having a keen eye for spotting young talent.
There are certain drivers that, for whatever reason, ring a bell with me. I spend a lot of time looking. You know, I'm always watching a Barber Dodge race, or a Ford 2000, or an Atlantic race, and I think it's research. I'm always out there looking. I'm not waiting for the next guy to pop on the radar screen.
Steve Horne has had marked success with Brazilian drivers.
When Andre Ribeiro came to drive with Tasman, he was pretty much an unknown, both certainly in America and to some degree in Brazil. And we were able to give some collective success to each other, and moved up from '95 into CART. And I think that gave Tasman a certain reputation in Brazil. The Brazilian drivers that have driven for us have all done very well.
And it gives Horne a built-in scouting system.
He always asked me, who's the good one now? And, you know, probably he asked Andre told it was me. He asked me, I told was Helio and Cristiano, and right now he picked up Cristiano, and he's been doing pretty good with the Brazilian, and I think he liked the Brazilian probably.
Like them or not, Horne understands the sometimes brutal nature of the business. Though with Tony, there's none of that on the horizon.
You've got to be a little bit cold-blooded. You've got to find the fastest driver you can. I think Tony's certainly the fastest driver that was available to us. I like him. He's got a great personality. He fits in very well with the team. He's exciting to have drive for you. To be honest, I see a lot of the attributes in racecraft in Tony that Bobby Rowe had, and that's what I like.
In a sport where going faster can mean just keeping up, what is the Tasman target?
For me, the goal right now is to win a CART championship. I think the level of competition just gets tougher and tougher each year. And I think if this organisation can win a championship, and really at this stage, Tony Kanaan, if he can win a championship, I know he can win. It's a matter of whether we can provide him the resources to win. That's the thing we're shooting for right now.